The morning of my sister's wedding was a whirlwind of emotions. Excitement bubbled within me, a giddy anticipation that bordered on nervous energy. I watched her, my reflection, getting ready, her eyes shimmering with a mix of joy and a hint of wistfulness. She looked breathtaking, a vision in white, her hair elegantly styled, a delicate veil cascading down her back. As I helped her adjust her veil, my fingers tracing the intricate lace, a wave of sadness washed over me. My sister, my confidant, my best friend, was leaving the nest. The ceremony was a blur of vows, tears, and laughter. I watched as my sister, her voice trembling with emotion, pledged her love to her groom. My heart swelled with pride. She looked so happy, so radiant, so deeply in love. Yet, a pang of loneliness pierced through the joy. The house would feel empty without her laughter echoing through the halls. The reception was a joyous affair, filled with music, dancing, and the clinking of glasses. I watched my sister dance with her husband, their faces illuminated by the warm glow of the lights. I saw the way he looked at her, his eyes filled with adoration, and I knew she had found her soulmate. As the night wore on, the music faded, and the guests began to depart. I found my sister in a quiet corner, her eyes slightly damp. "I'm going to miss you so much," she whispered, hugging me tightly. Tears welled up in my eyes. "I'm going to miss you too, sis, but I'm so happy for you. You deserve all the happiness in the world." She smiled, a tear rolling down her cheek. "Thank you. You're the best sister a girl could ask for." We sat together for a while, reminiscing about our childhood, sharing secrets whispered in the darkness of our shared room, and laughing about the silly things we used to do. As the night deepened, I drove her to her new home, a small cottage nestled amongst the trees. Standing at the doorstep, I felt a knot of emotion tighten in my chest. This was goodbye, at least for now. "Goodbye, sis," I whispered, hugging her one last time. "I love you." "I love you too," she replied, her voice thick with emotion. "Come visit soon." I watched as she turned and stepped inside, the light from the cottage casting a warm glow on her face. As I drove away, I looked back at the cottage, a single tear tracing a path down my cheek. My heart ached with a bittersweet longing, a mixture of joy and sadness that I knew would always be a part of me. But I also knew that this was just the beginning of a new chapter in our lives. My sister had found her happiness, and I, though I would miss her dearly, would always be there for her, a constant in her life, a lifelong friend and confidant. And though the house felt strangely quiet without her laughter, I knew that her happiness was worth more than anything. I had gained a brother-in-law, and my family had grown. And even though things would never be the same, I knew that our bond, the unbreakable thread that connected us, would remain forever strong. In the days that followed, I visited my sister often, bringing her flowers and baked goods. We spent hours talking, laughing, and catching up. I slowly began to adjust to the new reality, to the quiet evenings and the empty chair at the dinner table. But even though things were different, they were also beautiful. I watched my sister blossom in her new role as a wife, her face radiating with a joy I had never seen before. I saw the way she looked at her husband, her eyes filled with a love that was both tender and fierce. And I realized that while my sister had left the nest, she had also found her own wings,
ready to soar to new heights. And as I watched her fly, my heart swelled with pride and a quiet sense of contentment. For even though I missed her terribly, I knew that she was happy, truly happy, and that was all that mattered.